strong.
Hi, everybody. I am your host, Lynn B. This is Funny Minds, and I have my crazy co-host with me,
Edward Biss.
And today we are very lucky to have on Dick Steinhart, and Dick is the owner of BIGHT Records. He's going to explain that to us. And he also happens to be the ultimate deadhead. So, I wore one of my shirts because I'm a deadhead too. So let's start off with your record company. Well, what is it? BIGHT Records. Is it a record company?
By the way, it's BIGHT Records.
It's BIGHT Me. Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
That makes more sense.
Excuse me, fans. BIGHT Me. I thought it was BIGHT Me.
No, but I spelled it BIGHT.
Okay.
So
BIGHT Me Records. I kind of like that name a lot. So what does BIGHT Me Records do?
Well, I put out a CD about 20 years ago with the title track was Elvis Has Left the Building.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's 8 really different kind of songs. 2 of them are a tribute to Elvis, and the producer and keyboardist on that CD is now the keyboardist with Leonard Skinner.
Oh,
so really?
Excellent.
He's a tremendous musician.
Do you know him, Ed? Do you know who it is?
No.
His name is Peter Keys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know him personally. No.
Yeah.
I love Skinner. I mean, I saw Skinner when it was the original, before they all died in the crash, and not seen them afterwards with his brother-in-law. Of course, the original, you can't take away from that. But his brother has done a wonderful job all these years. He's done a great job. He really has.
Anytime you have an opportunity, especially a keyboardist, to step in with Leonard Skinner and take a whirl with them, that's phenomenal.
Really.
It's an interesting story. He grew up next door to Mickey Hart in Marin County.
Oh.
And then he went to the Berklee School of Music.
Yep.
And he's played with a million bands. He's played with Mose Allison, Bobby Weir, Silver Bullet Band. Wow. Yeah.
So he played with the Dead.
Not with the Dead, with Bobby.
Oh, just with Bobby? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And he's a tremendous musician, a great guy.
Anybody who goes to the Berklee School of Music is going to come out polished. And while you're there for the 4 years, you do a hell of a lot of networking.
Absolutely.
Right.
Those guys all stay in cahoots and somewhere along the lines wind up pulling each other along, which is fantastic.
So back then it was a different music business. There was no internet.
Right.
So I sent out CDs to 1,000 radio stations, and I got 200 around the world to play tracks off of it, but only 5 Billboard stations, so I never got tracking. So some DJs said, you should be on The Tonight Show, and others said, this is the worst garbage I've ever heard. So
you gotta have a thick skin. You gotta love the word no, and you gotta have a thick skin.
Yeah,
but still, that's a lot of legwork, Dick. I mean, to pound that out yourself and do that amount of marketing and follow up, and as opposed to these days.
And I was never I never played any instrument growing up. I was a horrible singer. And then when I went to school at University of Michigan, and I got a harmonica, and I just played everywhere with whoever I could.
Oh wow!
Then I got a guitar, and I just started trying to learn it. Some people could hear a song and then just play it.
Sure.
And there's no way that I could never do that. So I just started playing my own stuff. And then I have some cousins that live in Toronto that I visit a lot, and they have a cottage up on the Georgian Bay. And every year there's an Elvis festival there.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, it's Collingwood, Ontario. They close off the streets. It's only a small town, and 10,000 people go there, and there's stages everywhere. And there's a military Elvis and a Las Vegas Elvis and a young Elvis. and they have different
Any
contests.
Flying Elvises out there?
Yeah, they have a little parachute thing and a
parachute Elvis, yeah.
And so this melody started going through my brain. Elvis Has Left the Building. And so I wrote that song and then went in and did the CD. And so during the Chinese virus, I started spending a lot of time playing guitar and jamming. And then I wrote this song. I was noodling and got this melody, and I wrote the song Jerry's Band, which is a tribute to the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love the Dead. I'm a Deadhead, so I love them.
So you listened to the song, I think, Lynn, right?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes.
And it's like
you have a jerrysband.com, correct?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
And so the song is like a Where's Waldo with 65 references to Dead lyrics, titles of songs, albums. And the three guys that are in Raising the Dead cover band came in the studio with me, and I corralled this amazing bass player to come in the studio. So the song came out, I think, pretty good. Then I did a music video, which I think you saw, Lynn, didn't you?
Yes, I saw that. I saw everything on, that you sent me. And I went on and I paid to play the whole song, and it was really good. I love the Dead, but I love all the graphics. I mean, it's beautifully done.
Well, thank you. I tried to kind of make it a visual, kind of like to mock a trip,
Yeah.
Sure.
And keep it in line with words of the song.
But it's like, I saw Dead, and I saw the Dead many times, not as much as you, and I didn't travel as much as you did to see them. But, after Jerry was gone and they did Dead and Company, and my daughter is a Deadhead, a big Deadhead. And so we went to see Dead and Company many times, So I tend to think to myself, like, in a number of years, like, who's going to pick up the slack? Who's really going to, there's got to be a Grateful Dead. There's forever got to be a Grateful Dead,
Well, there's like 300 Dead cover bands.
Well, no, I know. I've seen a lot of cover bands, and there's one in New Jersey, Pennsylvania area that I love. They don't come around that often, but they are excellent. I saw them last summer. They did a festival in Jersey, and I hadn't seen them in 3 years, so of course I wanted to go. And the name of their band is Touch of Grey, and they are excellent. They're really excellent. And we have up here, well, actually it's in New York, the Warwick Winery does a Deadhead weekend. So they invite for the whole weekend tribute bands, dead tribute bands. But these guys have never played up there, and I wish they would. But they are really, really phenomenal. They're a very good group.
Their music, their live shows are fantastic when the Dead play. Their albums weren't necessarily the best music, but it's the live show and the scene around the show. It's like it's like walking into a Fellini movie when you go.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Between the whole combination between the light show, the music, the atmosphere, the artwork, it just encompasses everything, and it becomes its own machine, like its own world. And
then,
they're very consistent too. Like you could go to any Dead show anywhere, anytime, and still jump into that world, and it's the same every time.
Yeah.
Whether they mix and match songs, whether they play something or they riff off for 20 minutes on something else. I mean, they could always change things around musically, but the whole concept is always consistent.
Never the same songs 2 nights in a row.
Yeah.
You're right.
We were just talking before we got on here, Dick, that I got to see them at RFK Stadium back in the early 90s with Steve Miller Band opening up. It was the first time, and I didn't know this until I talked to my dad, because he was a big Deadhead as well. And they played Casey Jones for the first time in 16 years.
Amazing.
And I didn't know. I just assumed, they played that.
That's one of my favorite
It's a hit
songs.
song. I figured they played it every concert. And I was very wrong.
I know.
But I'll tell you what, one hell of an experience. Steve Miller Band was amazing, but it opened my eyes to why people travel and really follow that band.
I was introduced to artwork for many bands, like big drawings on the stage. He worked with Ted Nugent, but he worked with Kiss and Steve Miller and all kind of bands. And he drew the drawing for the T-shirt that I have that says the Jerry's Band shirt, if you saw that.
Yes, it's nice. I like it. Yes, you've done a great job.
It's a caricature of everybody in the band.
Right.
With Jerry directing the orchestra.
Which is super cool.
We went a couple of times. We did a vacation up at Lake George, and their main street, they have all these little shops and stuff, and there was a pothead shop. And we walked in, and I just stopped dead. And this is after Jerry Garcia had died. I stopped dead, and I said to my husband, "Oh my God, it's Jerry Garcia." This man was the spitting image of Jerry Garcia. It was uncanny. It was
You're trying to say he's handsome.
It was so insane. And I hadn't gone for a number of years, and we went a couple of years ago. And I looked for that shop, and I talked to people, and they said, well, there's a guy across the street, and he kind of looks like him, but it's not a pothead shop. So I went over, and the guy kind of did look like him, and I asked him, and he said no, he never owned a store across the street. So I don't know whatever happened to this man, but boy, it was like Jerry reincarnated. It was unfriggin' believable. He was incredible, but he didn't play any music.
You know, it's funny. It's funny that you mention that, because I have a very good friend that looks like Jerry.
Does he?
And I've known him for years, and he had the beard, and he wears glasses. And I called him up. I said, "Would you model the shirt that I designed?" Because I thought it would kind of
yeah.
And he said,
"Perfect."
He goes, "Sure, I'll do that." And I said, "All right. The shirts are printed. I'll bring one over Thursday." And he texts me back. He goes, "Oh, I forgot to tell you. I trimmed my beard."
Oh, no.
No. I said, "All right, send me a selfie."
Glue it back on. Hurry up.
I said, "Send me a selfie." And he sends me a picture. I go, "Dude, you lost the Jerry look." So he's in a choir, and they had a show, so he trimmed his beard for the performance.
Aww.
No.
So it was timing.
Well, you were lucky. I mean, you went to a lot of different places to see them. You know, in reading your bio, you really went to a lot of different places. I didn't get to go, but
basically, I saw them in Michigan. Once I went to Wisconsin for a show, but I saw them in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s,
right, yeah,
2000s, and I saw them in Ann Arbor and Detroit and East Lansing, and every time it was like a spiritual experience. Really.
Oh, yeah. We had a friend.
Where in Wisconsin did you see him?
It's a big campground place, the Dells or something like that.
Because I've performed up there, Menominee Arena.
No, it was an outdoor venue, like
okay,
like a 2-day thing, and we went for 1 day.
Have you ever been there, Menominee Arena?
No.
It's a nice arena.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you do?
I was in a Queen tribute. So we flew up there to perform after COVID. But we've been all up in, Michigan, Wisconsin, all that, Chicago, you tour everywhere, but Wisconsin was fantastic.
Yeah, they got a lot of fun there.
Great stuff going on up there. But that's, so you never actually really traveled around to see them.
Well, I traveled around, but I didn't travel with the Dead. Like, I had friends that went to 200 shows, and they would spend all their time going from one show to another. And,
but if they came up to your neck of the woods, you were there.
I did have like a life.
Yeah, right?
Other than
the whole job thing, right?
You know who did that one summer? Eddie Kozak did that one summer. He took off in May. And this is a friend of my husband's, brilliant man, worked for the government. He was a physicist, and he loved the Dead. Well, they all loved the Dead. And so he took off in May. I spent the next 6 months and just traveled to every show for 6 months. And when he came back, he said it was the most incredible experience he ever had. And I laughed because, he had such a brilliant mind. And he's like, "Oh, I was tripping here and doing this." Like, oh my God, your mind is so incredible. You can't trip out. But he had the greatest time. He loved it. He loved that whole 6 months. It was him. It was like one of the most important things he ever did, he said, so good for him. I only got to see them when they would come in the area. If it was Jersey, Connecticut, New York, we saw them many times, but, only when they came to the area. We really didn't travel far to see them. But
did you ever meet them, Dick?
No, I wish I would have.
Yeah, me too.
when they played like here, like at Pine Naba as an outdoor amphitheater, I would take my harmonica, and in the parking lot before and after the show, there'd be like 100 people with bongo drums and congos, and
Right.
guitars, and it's just a big jam session.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some people, depending on the place and what they would let you do, a lot of times they would open up and you could spend the night and there would be people all over, you know, just playing and jamming and, you know, whatever, which was a lot of fun. But, you know, it would depend on the place, whether they would allow you to do it or not, you know.
And it was always such a peaceful atmosphere.
And you know what? It still is. I mean, I went 2 years ago. Wait, we went right before, no, after COVID. My daughter and I went after COVID, and we saw them at the Garden in New York. And it was, I mean, there wasn't an empty seat, you know, it was incredible. And they were so good. And we had seen them before COVID. But, you know, it was just like so special to see them again. I mean, I don't know if I'll get to see them again. I don't know what their schedule is. I haven't looked, but, you know, because we have some really great tribute bands around, it's, you know, it's easy to see them. It's not like the original. I mean, when you go back and think how many years ago to actually have seen all the original members, it's so mind blowing, really, to remember all of those memories of them together and the way they played and just the whole atmosphere.
You got to consider yourself lucky if you've seen the original lineup. It's like the people I talk to that's seen Led Zeppelin in the early 70s,
right,
or seen Queen in the early 70s. You know, it's the same level of wow. You know, you got to walk away and say, "Man, I seen that."
You know, I consider myself.
Let's put Dick on the spot here. Dick, did you ever partake in some fungi at any of these? at any of these?
I must confess, Are
you going to plead the fifth?
You know, I'm not one to pass up an opportunity to elevate myself.
Okay.
Good for you.
Well said.
There you go.
I was just musically speaking. Okay, so when Jerry passed and they got a couple of guys to try to play guitar, and now they got John Mayer, and you can kind of plug in like the leads because he plays his leads, and they try to mirror. But when Phil was gone, you just couldn't recreate the bass, like the timing between the drum and the bass. And so he was just like on a different planet.
Oh, he was on a level all his own. Definitely. Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah. I mean, and Mayer did a phenomenal job. He really did.
John?
You have to,
John.
You have to hand it to him. I mean, I did see him.
John's a real good player.
Absolutely. But I'm saying the sound of the music with a different bass player.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's like the engine.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's still good. It's still good.
Oh,
but it's like trying to replace John Entwistle.
Exactly.
You know, or John Bonham, not John Bonham, but, you know, it's just there's certain guys that have a specific, not only tone, but sound and feel with their drummer that is hard to match. And they've done it together for so long. It's like they probably don't even think about it.
Right.
A good bass player is just so hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
What do you play?
Guitarist and vocals.
Okay.
So with the tribute scene, I did Brian May, but also did a lot of the harmonies. But I've done like 8 or 9 different tributes. I still do one. I do Motley Crue. I've done AC/DC, Def Leppard, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, and Queensryche.
That's incredible.
All full shows, 2-hour shows.
Do you do original stuff too, or?
I mean, I have my whole life. You know, I've been playing since I was 5. But you know, I fell into the tribute scene by happenstance. But I just finished an original CD that was released, and the drummer I released the CD with wound up playing with the Motley Crue tribute. I talked him into it. I said, "Well, it's easy money. You know the stuff. They get paid well." And then apparently their guitar player was horrible. So he called me and said, "Listen, I need you to do Mick Mars." And I started laughing. I was like, "I don't look like Mick Mars. I would have to die and come back to life." And he was like, "I don't give a shit what you got to do. I need you to be Mick Mars." So I did. And then that was like 16 years ago. And we're still doing it. But the Queen thing was a whole different type of experience because we came out with that Queen tribute right before the movie came out. But we didn't know about the movie. So it was our dumb luck. And it catapulted us through the roof. Wow. And it was some of the best shows. This was an incredible band too. It was called Absolute Queen. You could go on YouTube and type in Absolute Queen and see his concerts. You know, we did the whole look, the whole show. We went into the studio. We had an amazing keyboardist and a producer, and we recorded our own tracks, our own vocal harmony. We recorded all our harmonies. And then what we did was we would blend it in our in-ears, and we would sing live, but we would blend in some of the harmonies and all the sound effects from the album. So when you watched us, you had the whole visual, the whole production, but you had all the sound and the harmonies.
Yeah, that's a lot of engineering.
It's a lot. It was a lot of singing, you know, and a lot of guitar playing. But it was a challenge, and it was fun. And I was a Queen fan since I was, you know, 10 years old.
Their music is something else. Now, the way I look at my stuff is considering like what I know about my musical skills, and then with a limited budget and studio time, I'm pretty proud of how the songs came out.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Do you have a software set up? Are you going into a studio, or do you
I went into a studio, Temper Mill Studio in Ferndale, Michigan. They've had some Grammy songs recorded there. And then my keyboardist had built a studio in Lansing, just with an incredible board there's only, I think, 2 or 3 of them like that in the world. Mm-hmm. And so I went up there to do the vocals and the finishing touches. And then it was mastered by Glenn Brown, who's one of the top mastering guys in the world.
That's a whole different skill set there when you master. Yeah. But, you know, these days in the world of software like Pro Tools, you know, the equipment's half the battle. You need someone that knows the software very well, fluently.
Yeah, I'm like a techno idiot, so I...
Me too.
I call myself technology for dummies. That's what I call myself.
Yeah, that's why it's very important to have someone in the band that is tech savvy, especially these days. But we'd be on stage. We'd have more laptops on stage than an office. Yeah.
When I finish all my interviews, I just send everything to my producer. And Yosef, he's absolutely fabulous. I love him. He's great.
Yosef.
Yes, Yosef. He's just absolutely wonderful. If I didn't have him, I don't know what I would do. He's just such a wonderful person. So I understand where you're coming from. You got to have good people behind you. Otherwise, it looks really
you need some type
crappy.
Of help. Definitely. These days, especially with everything. But what do you have going on that's new? Are you currently writing some stuff, or do you?
Yeah, I've got about 10 songs. One that I'm really focused in on. It's called "It's Hard to Be a Cowboy in London." Kind of a country song, and and then I've got there's a singer in France that's interested in covering a couple of my songs, and she's going to be coming to Memphis in June. So I'm hoping to do...
a French cowgirl? Are we talking about a French country?
She's a French kind of jazz gospel.
Oh, all right. Singer. Okay, that's good. That's good.
I met her on LinkedIn also.
Okay, yeah, LinkedIn's great. I love LinkedIn. Yeah. And you can't take away from it. It's really great. I love it. I've met so many wonderful people.
She's going to fly all the way here?
Yeah.
She's been here before, but she's going to be recording in Memphis, and she said she wanted to do one of my songs.
That's great.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's really great.
You're going to have to buy her dinner.
I'll get her some barbecue.
Yeah, down in Nashville. Yeah, it's got to be barbecue.
Hell yeah. Are you, speaking of that, are you married, Dick? Do you have a family there?
No, I'm single. I never met anybody that I could tolerate.
Okay.
Hey, that's it. You know,
well,
at least
being
you know
honest.
It. Yeah, you're honest.
I can hardly take care of myself, let alone family.
Well, what are you doing with Jerry's band? Well, how far do you want to bring that? Where do you want to go with it?
Well, I've been trying to I've joined like a bunch of Facebook groups, so Grateful Dead groups, and been promoting it there. And I'm up to about 800 views of the song.
Okay.
And so, I just try to plug it whenever I can. And
is it on just the site, or is it on YouTube?
It's on Spotify, and it's on YouTube. You can listen to it, but because the expense of making the video and the studio and everything. I'm just charging, I think it's a reasonable price, $1.49
Right.
to download an 8-minute video. I don't think that's a big ask for people that want to support the project.
Right.
But I think it's kind of a trippy video. What do you think, Lynn?
I loved it. It brought me back to my 20s when I was watching it.
There's some unexpected, visuals that come up.
Yeah. It's just, but I love animation to begin with. I love everything that people do with animation. And I don't know if you've ever, he's on LinkedIn. Oh God, what's his name? Warren. What's Warren's last name? Eddie, remember?
Buffett.
He does the Beatles. He does all the stuff. Have you ever watched him?
The Beatles. Yes.
He does some amazing
I forgot his last name.
Animation too. Yeah.
Well, to do the video the way I really wanted to do it would have been like $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it is expensive.
Yeah. But I just it was like a working man's dead version of a video.
But it's really, really good. And you can enhance it, as you go along, as things progress and stuff. Yeah. You can always enhance it. But I thought it was good. I thought you did a great job on it.
Well, thank you. I've gotten some compliments on it.
Okay.
And I'm actually exploring some distribution, either maybe some film festivals or...
Okay.
That's a good route to go, because then you get more eyes on it from people that are really looking for... stuff like that.
Or to have it be like before a movie is shown at an independent movie theater.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm kind of looking into that.
Also, you should look up Music Legacy International. You can go on, you can have a free membership, go on, and you can download the stuff from Jerry's band on there. And it's made they're just starting out. It's made for musicians. Yeah. And it's really going to be an extremely wonderful site. So check it out. It's Music Legacy International.
Okay, I'm writing that down right now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the president and creator we had on the show, and I'm going to partner with them in some respects with my musical contacts, but it's going to be a community for musicians, management, everything of the likes. And they're going to have many different avenues for people nationwide and worldwide really to connect, to be able to jam live on video, to be able to connect in cities. So if you travel through a city and you need a bass player, you could go on that and you could already create groups. They're going to create a way that they could help monetize for musicians, so that musicians could share and some type of monetization to help them out. So he's got a lot of great ideas.
Yeah.
And he pitched them some as well, but
CBS gave him a studio in New York. So eventually he's going to have bands come in and jam and, send that stuff out over the airwaves and stuff like that. I mean, it's going to be a really, once they get everything connected, and they're working really hard. I mean, he's got a lot of stuff on YouTube now where he didn't have it before, advertising it. So definitely check it out.
He sounds like a real visionary.
Yes, check it out. You can join free, and you can post a lot of stuff on there. And I think it would be great for you.
And you could create your own community on there. So you could bring in and create a community of people that are like-minded and have same interests, so that you guys could connect and stay in touch and stuff like that, and network worldwide. Like, let's say you're doing a song and you need, like, you got the girl from France, you need a singer. Yeah, you could in your group or something out there, and you could have people send you music, and you could hear them and connect that way. And he's definitely a visionary. He's got an amazing game plan, and it's going to really kick up. He's trying to take things to a much higher level.
High level. Yes.
For the industry, mainly for musicians. And
it's all musicians. Yes.
Yeah. Did you happen to, Lynn, click on songs and check out the other 4 songs that are on there?
Yes, I did. I looked at everything.
Did you watch the music video for If I Could Be Here?
No, I did not watch that one.
That's the Elvis tribute song. And there's got some single frame animation.
Okay.
The rest of the video
When I was in Vegas, and this is many, many years ago, many, 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 many years ago, I was in my 20s. I saw Elvis. I saw him for real.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
yes, it was Eddie's father and I were there for, I don't know, the Elks or something had a junket or something. We went on it, and it was absolutely fabulous. And the first time I met Red Fox and the whole 9 yards, but I saw Elvis, and he was fabulous. And then this past Sunday night, I went to see an Elvis impersonator, and he did such a wonderful job. I asked him to come on the show, so I'm waiting to hear if he'll do it, because I loved Elvis too, so.
Who doesn't love Elvis?
I know, really.
I'll tell you,
Who doesn't love Elvis?
He was really a good singer.
Yes.
He could really sing.
I mean, even his gospel music was wonderful too. I mean, a lot of people don't like it. I love it. I think it was wonderful.
But he had a beautiful singing voice.
He did, and he was so charismatic on the stage. Oh my God, he's like the Energizer Bunny, for God's sake.
What I liked about Elvis is not only his songs and his singing, but the sound that they were able to create for him when they recorded him, and the style and just the background choir, some of the background choirs, and they really uplifted his music to a whole different level and gave it like its own specific sound for that day and that day and age.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when you hear his music, it just takes you back there immediately. And it was very
like a
unique.
whole different level,
Very different unique.
level. Yes. But so tell everybody now, tell all our fans where they're going to find you, where they can find you.
Okay. So I have a YouTube channel, Bunker Boy Rico, and that's where you can listen to all my songs. And then on Spotify, it's Rico and the Bunker Boys, where you can listen to Jerry's band and the other 4 songs I just recorded. And then at jerrysband.com, you can download the music video. You can get the T-shirts or stickers that I have, and you can read the story about me, and that's where you can find it.
And on LinkedIn, you're on LinkedIn
you could also
under Dick Steinhart.
You could also hook Dick up with a date.
Yeah.
Dick is single. Dick Steinhart is single, ladies, up there in your neck of the woods. He loves to ice fish. He ice fishes in his bathrobe. He's crazy.
Well, I live on a little lake, 10-acre lake, and everybody asks me if I go fishing, and I don't, because I go snorkeling, and the fish are my buddies, like they kind of tag along with me. So I don't want to pull them.
I would much rather snorkel than ice fish.
Yeah, right. I don't blame you. Well, Dick, I really appreciate you being on, and I love a good deadhead person, because we're like not a dying breed, because the younger deadheads are a little bit different than what we were like. I mean, they're still deadheads,
but there's still a big fanship there.
The
younger kids have caught on to it.
Different though.
Bands like Fish have carried the torch somewhat.
Yeah.
But
no, I know, but they are different. When you sit and talk to them,
they're always going to be different.
They are a little different.
Sure.
But still in all, they love the music, and if you're a deadhead and you're into the music, it's absolutely incredible. So I am so happy that you did Jerry's band, because it's really great, and I really hope the best for you. And do check out, the Music International, Music Legacy International. Do check that out. Do become.
What was it? Queen?
Absolute Queen.
Absolute
Queen, yes.
And the Motley Crew is called Carnival of Crew, CRUE.
Uh-huh.
And that's if you want to see me looking pretty spooky.
I don't know. You kind of look pretty spooky right now. No.
It doesn't take much.
Well, we are Funny Minds, and thank you today for being on our show and watching us. And like everybody else, we do have merch, guys. So if you go on, you will find, if you go on our Beacons AI Funny Minds spot, our QR code, you will find a lot of different things on there. And like I say to everybody, on our regular website of funnyminds.com, there's 2 organizations that we're really very into, and that's St. Jude's Children's Hospital and breast cancer. So if you go on the site, there's a big purple button. You can push that. You can make a donation. They're wonderful organizations, and they do so much for so many people. And I like to tell you also that we are crazy people and we love to have fun and we love laughter. And we believe that laughter is the best medicine. So that's what I want to leave you all with. And I thank you again for being on. And you've been a wonderful show co-host. I am the host, so I'm a wonderful
With the
host.
most.
And Dick, you've been a wonderful
Dick, you're a rock star. Thank you for
guest on
coming
our
on.
show.
Thank you,
And I'm
guys.
so happy
Thank
that
you.
you
Just
were
don't go
here.
ice fishing in your bathrobe.
All right, take care, Dick. Thanks for
Dick,
being
thank you
on.
so much.
guys.
Hey, be well, Dick.
Thanks.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.